Welcome to July's virtual circle. And today we're going to talk about powerful yet simple tools to use in your life that will consciously help you to create and manifest your life from the inside out. So, everything I do at Opening Doors Within is from the inside out, getting to know yourself at this inner level. This is what I refer to as the soul level. And I'm so excited about sharing these tools. These tools are some of the most basic tools that I use daily. And I don't underestimate that word daily, often throughout the day. And I'll explain that as we go through the tools. I've been using many of these tools for over 40 years. And some I've just learned recently in the last 15 years. But all of them I've been using between 40 and 20 years. So that's a long time. And that's why I absolutely know they work. They have absolutely changed my life. And I know the power of them. Before I begin, I just want to remind us all that we are multidimensional beings. What I mean by that is that there are different layers of us. And we have been taught, most of us have been taught, that there's only one layer of us, and that is our ego. That is what we see all around us. And if we want to make a change in our life, we have to change it out there so that we feel better in here. And we have been taught that. And although that may work sometimes, it doesn't generally last because we can't control and manipulate the world around us. The only thing we can control is how we respond to life. So, the tools that I'm going to teach you today are from within so that you do get to control them. The power is within you. And when you master and use these tools, you will actually see the change out there in your life. And that's why they're so exciting. So, I just wanted to remind you that your ego, if you only come to this session with your linear mind, you're not going to really make the most of this hour together because the linear mind is not going to understand these nonlinear tools. The linear mind only knows what it knows. And if you can't touch it, hold it, see it out there, if you can't prove it, if it's not scientifically proven or proven by the linear mind, our intellectual mind, it's not real to the ego. And that's where the whole idea of airy-fairy has come into. Airy-fairy means it's not tangible. These tools are not tangible, they're energetic. And our body knows how to use them. Our intuition, our emotions, our feelings, our imagination, all of these things are not linear. They're within other parts of our body. So I'm going to share a lot of tools that are going to be controversial to the linear mind. So I'd like you to set the intention to put the linear mind over here during our session today. Really drop out of your head and into your body and allow your body and your intuition and your inner knowing to guide you through this session. Okay, now I'm going to be looking at a few notes because I want to stay on track. We only have 60 minutes. I'm going to give you as much information as I can in our short time together as I do. And then you know how to find more if you want any more. So I'm going to look over here. Um, Now, let's begin with setting an intention. Intention to me is everything. Most of us just go through life just kind of dealing with what shows up in front of us. However, a much better way to go through life, as far as I'm concerned, is get clear with what it is you desire. Desire is potent. And using your active imagination to imagining what it is that you desire and how it's going to feel when you get there is setting an intention. Being intentional about what you want to create, consciously create throughout your day or your future. So you are an electromagnetic being. I'm going to refer to this quite a bit. You are energy, and your energy is created by the electromagnetics of your being. Your thoughts are electric. Your emotions are magnetic. So your thoughts and your emotions can, when you turn them on, when you consciously choose a thought and emotion, you can actually magnetize something out there to you. Get to create that reality. And it's really fun. I mean, I do a whole class, a whole workshop on that. So I won't have time to really go into conscious creation and manifestation, but intention is a snippet, a way to use it. So you can use it for a whole day. You can use it for a whole week, a year, whatever you want to create or consciously intend. You get clear with how it feels once you're there. It's the feeling that is so powerful. So your thought gets it going. What do I think? And then you've got to drop into your body and actually feel what it feels like when you're living that intended future. So, one of the ways I use it regularly is before I get up in the morning. I set my intention for the morning. I want it to be easy. I want it to be spacious. I want it to be flowing. I want to connect with my partner heart to heart. I want to, I just want it, I want it to be just flowing, natural, and I want to connect with my spiritual essence in the morning. Really go into a short meditation and consciously create my whole day from the inside out. So that'll be my intention to see that be easy, flowing, spacious, and connecting with myself and my partner. And I set that intention before I even get out of bed. Before I drive anywhere, I get into my car and I set my intention for how I want my trip to go. I want it to be safe, I want it to be easy, and I want to be there on time. That would be three different ways to feel into it. And then I just envision it and I see it and I feel it. I electromagnetically tune into that intention and it creates. But before I go on a bike ride, I do the same thing. How do I want the bike ride to be? And usually it starts with safe and easy and fun. I always put fun in there. I feel fun is really an important intention for me because I like to have fun. So intention is absolutely a powerful tool. You can do it, like I say. That's why so many people have a word for the year. Their intention is, mine was devotion. I want to be devoted to the things that I love. Really make time and space to be devoted to myself, to my work, to my clients, to my family. So devotion is my intention for the year. And I feel into what that feels like when I'm with each individual item in my life. Intention. So just notice when you're not consciously intending, your mind is often giving that thought and emotion to something maybe you don't want, like something you're afraid of, or you're fearing, or you worry about, or you're anxious about. Thoughts and emotion can create your reality. So it's really important to be vigilant on what you're thinking and you're feeling throughout your day. Make it conscious, make it intentional. Okay, great. That's my first one. And we're going to be using that because I want you to set an intention right now on how you want to feel as we continue on with this session together. Set that intention, see it and feel it. Know it's going to be powerful, focused, and fun. That's just an idea. Okay, the second tool is your breath. Your breath is such a powerful tool. Your breath is your life. It creates your life. It creates your essence. It creates your energy. It creates everything. Without your breath, you would not be in this body because it runs the body. The breath is magic. And so you can use your breath in many, many ways. And I'm going to teach you a breathing technique that I really like. And but there's so many out there. But I think one of the ways we want to use our breath is that it takes us into the present moment. So when we're spending time in our head and spinning, allowing our linear mind to spin around in all the what ifs or the shoulds, for example, creating anxiety or heaviness in our body and in our day, it's important to witness that, notice that. And the way you turn it around is you first recognize, wow, I'm feeling really heavy, or I'm feeling really anxious, or whatever it is. And then acknowledge how it's feeling and how it might be attracting what you don't want. And then the breath is almost a reboot. So you close your eyes and you take a nice, big, slower than usual diaphragmatic belly breath. And I like to do it with the count of 6. So you do an inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 2, 3, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 4, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 4, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as you're doing that breathing, you want to really focus on the oxygen coming in through your nostrils, your belly expanding, and even the back of your ribs expanding out with that inhale. And then release, holding it for just a minute and then releasing it, not in a minute, 2 seconds, 2 counts, and then releasing it a little bit longer to really exhale all that oxygen that's been in your diaphragm. So that is the breath. That's the intentional breath. And the intention is to really press pause, to pause the thinking, the striving, the moving, the producing, the whatever it is, to just stop doing and reboot your system into a being place. And that will give you the space and the time to set your intention on what you desire in the next segment of your day. I hope that makes sense. The breath is so important. It's Most people breathe shallow, and that is giving the message to the body there's fear, there's danger. It's fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or flop. And that's great for getting out of a burning building. But when you want to just be present during your day and consciously create your day, your life, you want to be intentional, you've got to breathe from the belly. That signals to your body that all is well and that you've got this. All right, great. I'll make time to answer any questions at the end. I'm just going to kind of see how many I can get through, and then I'll make sure I have a little bit of time at the end for questions. Okay, the third tool I want to give you today is the center of your head. This is a really interesting one, and I learned this from one of my mentors, Jim Self of Mastering Alchemy. I've been studying with Jim for 15 years, so these are one of my newer ones, but I use it every day. And I try to stay in the center of my head throughout my whole day. So right now, as I'm teaching you, I am doing this from the center of my head. So I'm going to show you how to find the center of your head. The center of your head starts right here above, a little bit above your eyebrows, in between your eyebrows. You might want to call it your third eye. And if you put another hand right behind and just imagine a laser beam going fingertip to fingertip, and then you do it again. So find that laser beam fingertip to fingertip going through the center of your head. And when you have that, take your fingertips and you put them not right on your temples, about an inch behind your temples, above your ears. And you want to do the same thing there. A laser beam, fingertip to fingertip. And where those two laser beams intersect, that's the center of your head. And that's where you're going to find your pineal gland, which is a very potent area of your physical body that most of us haven't been taught about. And again, I'm not going to take the time to go into the pineal, but just trust me. This is what connects your head to your heart, your pineal gland. So when you want to be able to connect both and really superpower this head of yours, you go to your pineal gland. And this is really a commanding station. And the center of your head is so powerful. And if you can navigate your life from that place as often as possible. So we're going to do a little exercise around that today. We'll play with that a little bit. So what I want you to do is close your eyes and find in your imagination the center of your head. I like to imagine it as a hollowed out room. And it could be, you can imagine, you can make it anything you want. It could be at the beach, it could be in a meadow by a stream, it could be in a cozy room with a big comfortable chair. But what you want to do is you want to create your own safe space in the center of your head, like a little hollowed out area. And I want you to just take a breath, relaxing from the center of your head, really focusing on your presence right there in the center of your head. And just breathing. Remember, it's right between your ears, a little higher, right in the center of your head. And just imagine kicking back in this beautiful place of your imagination, whatever you want to create. I call it my safe place. And you can retreat to this area anytime you want. Just taking some nice, smooth breaths, relaxing and focusing on the center of your head. Breathing in the center of your head, kicking back in the center of your head. And now just gazing out the windows of your closed eyes. So imagine your closed eyes are windows that look out from this beautiful, safe place, the center of your head. And I want you to imagine about 1 foot in front of your face is how far you can gaze out the windows of your closed eyes. Now remember, your imagination is one of your most powerful tools. So you're using your imagination now to fully be in the center of your head, relaxing in the center of your head as you gaze out the windows of your closed eyes, gazing out about 1 foot in front of your face. Now, this is the beginning of learning how to use your third eye. And I learned that about 25 years ago. Gosh, about 25 years ago, um, at Ananda, a beautiful ashram in Northern California. And my teacher taught me this. And the more I practiced it, you can even put your hand out there about 1 foot in front of your third eye and just imagine gazing out right out there. And the more you practice it, the more real it becomes. I have seen light language here. I have seen my future here. I have seen so many things through this third eye. But this is the beginning of me being able to open this powerful portal to the unseen world. Okay, so I'm going to bring you back, and I want you to just go back and just relax. Just fully relax and breathe from the center of your head. And from the center of your head, okay, I want you to really set the intention that you are staying in the center of your head. I want you to notice your left foot below you. Now, don't go down to your left foot. That's what we tend to do. I want you to stay in the center of your head. And from the center of your head, notice your left foot beneath you. Beautiful. Beautiful. You can do anything from the center of your head. Coming back fully into the center of your head. Taking some more nice breaths from the center of your head. Notice your right hand. Remember, stay in the center of your head. Just notice it's there. You can wiggle your fingers if you want, but you're doing that from the center of your head. The center of your head. All right, coming back again to the center of your head. Noticing the nose on your face from the center of your head. It's right there in front of you. Below, sticking out from the center of your head, notice your nose. Great. And now just kick back in the beautiful center of your head. Taking another nice big breath, relaxing in the center of your head, gazing out the windows of your closed eyes, and breathing from the center of your head. Now, here's an advanced one that you can try now or work into. Staying fully focused in the center of your head. Before you try it, just listen to what I'm going to say. I'm going to have you, when you're ready, gently open your eyes, but stay in the center of your head. Don't go out into the room or into the computer. Stay in the center of your head, gently, so you're not going to see peripherally. Peripherally, you're going to stay unfocused. You're going to stay fully focused in the center of your head, and you're just going to softly, softly gaze. But you're not going to focus in the room because you're going to be focusing in the center of your head. And the whole idea is to be able to stay in the center of your head with your eyes open. And it does take practice, but I promise you, once you get it, it's really easy. And you really notice when you leave your body and go out to the other person when you're talking, for example, instead of staying in your space in the center of your head. I like to use this tool when I'm going to sleep at night. And I play with being in the center of my head. And I find that in the darkness of the night, the darkness of the room allows me to engage my third eye a lot easier. And that's quite often when the magic happens. But you can practice it at any time. All right. I hope that was good for you guys. How'd you do, Teresa? Unmute yourself and let me know how that was.
Um, the thing that came to me was it's a muscle. I've got to practice, but I have the gift of a cataract. So if I just look through that eye, I'm right there.
That's funny. Well, that is it. That is a nice perspective, my friend. The gift of a cataract. Yeah. Were you able to go into the center of your head though and find it and feel comfortable
Yeah,
just being
that
there?
I had a really beautiful light right there.
Right.
And the one where we went 1 foot ahead, I saw lots of beautiful fairies, and
Beautiful.
I really like the fairies from which is the cartoon that had the three fairy godmothers.
Oh
It
yeah,
was kind of,
Cinderella.
yeah, it was kind of, but
Cinderella.
was it the three little ones that, anyways, that's what showed up for me, that and I was like, oh,
Great.
this is fun.
Thank you for sharing because it's always fun. I do this in my retreats and in my live workshops, and then we can really play with it. When I'm doing it through Zoom, it's not quite as easy, but it's still
Mm.
pretty powerful. Um, Practice it. Like I say, I try to do everything from the center of my head right now because it is really, owning your power. You are
Mm.
really creating from within and
Yeah.
and keeping your energy, close to you, which is really nice instead of getting it out and getting all messy and spilling it here and there. It's really right there, which feels a lot cleaner.
Would you feel like when you do the breathing practice that you brought us through, that's a good opportunity to remind yourself to, go to the center of your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anytime you do any kind of meditation, any kind of breathing practice, setting an intention, any of these things that I'm teaching you right now, try to do them all from the center of your
Mm.
head.
Right. Okay. Cool.
You got it. That was a great question.
Mm.
That was a
Well, it's
great.
nice to bring them all together, all the tools, because that's well, and I love how you said that's where the magic happens, because I love it.
Well, once you
Because who wouldn't want
understand,
more magic?
yeah, once you understand how powerful we are and that
Mm.
everything
Mm.
is inside of us, but we just
Yeah.
haven't been taught how to use this. You know, these new children that are being born right now aren't going to forget it because when you're young, you know it. We
Yes.
can go back, many of us can go back to when we're young. And I mean, I spoke to the unseen. I played with the fairies. I did all of that. And fortunately for me, I didn't really forget it because it was such a big part of my childhood and my life. But I'm with children a lot, and it's so fun to engage that with them. I had a conversation with my 6-year-old, 6.5-year-old grandson yesterday, and I asked him if he's ever seen ghosts, and he said yes. And I said, whoa. And then he said, I see dark ones and I see light ones. And I said, tell me about that. And he said, when do you see them? And he says, well, when I go to bed, they come out in the dark. And I said, so what's the difference? He said, the dark ones, they don't fully come out and hide and show themselves. They peek around the doors and they come out just a little bit, but they're dark and they're not friendly. But the light ones come and they sit with me and they play with me and they're part of, I guess they're part of like his soul family. Who knows? You know, we can only just imagine. But he's still alive and young enough, and his parents have nurtured it enough so that he hasn't forgotten. And I think that these tools that I'm teaching you now are going to be intuitive in the adults that are growing up from children today because they are so real. They are so real. So I love it's magic to the ego. It's airy fairy. To me, I call it magic because I love the word magic and it happens so quick. I don't know if you've noticed, but what you give attention to can happen overnight anymore. And you've got to really be vigilant about what you're focusing on. Seriously. All right, let's go to the next one. And we will try to string them all together, Teresa. So, um, I love that you said that because they are needed to be strung together, and I will kind of finish up with how to do that. The next one I want to take you to is the grounding cord. And those of you that have been with me a while know about the grounding cord because I teach it in our opening meditation and in intention. The grounding cord, so we are electromagnetic beings. And Gaia, the earth, is electromagnetic as well. And we're both vibrating at the same hertz resonance. Now, it's always been measured at about 5 hertz. I believe it's growing quite rapidly with the light that's coming into the planet right now. I believe that our body is going from a carbon-based body into a crystalline-based body. Our DNA is changing. All of this is just mind-blowing. And as all these changes are happening within Earth and within us, our frequency is raising as well. So I can't tell you what hertz we vibrate. Probably all of us are a little different depending on the work and the consciousness that we are at this moment in time. However, a grounding cord grounds our body into the earth so that we can release, kind of like what a grounding cord does for a computer, anything electrical. It releases anything that's not helpful. So it keeps it solid, it keeps it working well. Well, we can use the same philosophy between us and the earth. So I'm going to take us into that, and it's going to be slow. I'm going to be um, pretty intricate in how I'm going to introduce you to the grounding cord today. You won't need to do all the intricacies the next time. Just imagine it and then turn it on, and it will be there. And the more you use it, the more it just becomes a part of your body. I just check to make sure mine's there because I can feel it. And that's what happens with these tools. They just become a part of you, which is so great. So I'm going to invite you to breathe your eyes closed again. And if you can do this from the center of your head, even better. Taking a breath from the center of your head, I want you to imagine a root any kind of straight line, but it's kind of fun to think of it as a root. But a straight line leaving the base of your spine or your first chakra and traveling down, down, down into the center of the earth. It doesn't take long in your imagination. And as it gets into the center of the earth, see the tip of that root or straight line just branching out into a lot of other roots so it really plants itself into the center of the earth. Great. This is your grounding cord. Now, you are an electromagnetic being. Your thoughts are electric in nature. Your emotions are magnetic. So I want you to silently command this grounding cord to become electric. This will be the electric component of your grounding cord. And now I want you to take another grounding cord coming out of the base of your spine. And as it comes down the base of your spine, it neatly coils itself around and around and around and around the first grounding cord until it too comes to the center of the earth and plants itself firmly right there with the first grounding cord. The second grounding cord is magnetic. So command this part of the grounding cord to become magnetic and command it to turn on. This is your electromagnetic grounding cord. Now, silently command to any thought or emotion that is not serving me for my highest or best good will now be siphoned out of my body and down my grounding cord. You don't need to know what they are. Just any thought or emotion that is not serving me for my highest or best will now be siphoned out of my body and down my grounding cord. And just take another nice big diaphragmatic breath or two as that happens. From the center of your head if you can. Beautiful. That, my friend, is the grounding cord. Now, we won't really, let me see, we won't take the time to really play with the grounding cord, but as you set this grounding cord, maybe a couple of times or 3 times a day when you first get going, once a day as it becomes more familiar, when you feel like you're ready, it's fun to cut. You just kind of energetically cut the grounding cord off of you, and you'll feel the difference of how it feels to not have the grounding cord on and how it feels to have the grounding cord on. You can just set it again and just intentionally just see it coming down and coming into the earth, and then setting the intention, any thought or emotion that's not serving me for my highest or best. And that can be as quick as anything. But the more you use it, the more it becomes a part of you. And it just automatically is there. So I can feel my grounding cord when I focus on that. I can just feel it's almost like a little bit of a tug or a weight on that bottom chakra. And it's a connection. It's a real root. It's a root. Obviously, it's a root. It's a grounding cord, and it feels really good. Now I'm going to go into another way you can ground yourself with planet Earth. Um, and that's called earthing. It's another form of grounding, and it's just as potent and powerful. There's so much science now on actually earthing. And Larry and I watched Netflix recently. I think it's called something like Earthing. And it goes over how amazing earthing is and all the benefits earthing or grounding on the earth has for your body. So science is now proving it, which is really cool. And I'm going to look at my notes because I want to make sure. I put the earth is an electromagnetic organism like you. When you connect to the earth, you can reboot and reset um, your system with Gaia system. Earthing regrounds and stabilizes you, resulting in better sleep. Now, this is all proven. Linear. I mean, that's the funny thing about the linear facts. Science is catching up to some of this stuff now, which is like, okay, good. Now we have the people that are science freaks, they get it. But this is being proven. Better sleep, less anxiety, reduced pain and inflammation. And it helps with better health by increasing your blood flow for faster healing. So, all you need to do is really just spend a lot of time going barefoot like I do. And in New Zealand, a lot of us spend time barefoot. And so that's great. The more we can be outside in the garden, grounding that way. If you don't have a lot of time, what my husband does is after lunch, he lays on the ground, fully lays on the ground for 15 minutes, absorbing the vitamin D from the sun and grounding in the earth. And that really is the minimum of what you can take if you really want to have an impact with the grounding. 15 minutes of really lying on it. Sometimes if I'm doing work, I'll take my chair and a table out and just put my feet on the ground and just work for a while. Whatever you can fit in is really nice.
What do you do in the winter?
Well, there you have it. And you have a nice day. So 15 minutes, if you can handle that and bundle up when it's not raining or really windy, and just spend some time on the lawn or on some soft, even on the sand. I know it's cold, and that's what you do. They also sell grounding mats right now that you can plug in. I don't know if they work or not. I've never used one, but I do know that there's other options. You could probably Google that. Okay, that's earthing and grounding. Now I am going to share one of my favorite tools to share at one of my retreats, a live event, because this one you can really feel when you're working with a partner. It's called the Rose Tool. And again, this is a mastering alchemy tool by Jim Self. Jim Self gets all of his things channeled from the Ascended Masters. And so these are gifts from the Ascended. Um, so I wrote a little thing here. I'm gonna just read it because I wrote this today. The fame and significance of the rose is not only due to their divine fragrance or their beautiful appearance, or even the wellness and beauty benefits, but because of the vibrational frequency that the rose emits. The rose has the highest frequency of any living thing on the planet, and it's 320 hertz. So I said we've been 5 hertz. That's a way different vibrational frequency. It's the highest of any plant, making it the closest tangible thing to love. That's why a red rose and love are paired, because love is the highest frequency, love, freedom, and even joy. Those to me are, the highest frequencies that we can have in a body as our emotion. Um, and the rose vibrates at that 320 hertz. All the other plants vibrate between 10 hertz, and the highest under the rose is 250 hertz. So that's almost 100 hertz higher than the next highest plant. And you know how potent essential oils are. Those are all from plants. So that's using the vibration, the frequency of the plants in the oil. People are reported to vibrate. Oh, I already wrote that. Okay. And I do believe that our vibration is shifting, especially the more we use the rose tool and essential oils and high vibe thoughts. And as we're working with the energy that's coming in, the light is really helping to upgrade us. We are on an upgrade. I've talked about this for so many years. We are changing. That's why we're all feeling a little uncomfortable, a little wheezy, a little high pitched in our ears. It's maybe some trouble sleeping or sleeping a lot, whatever it is for you, it's different for all of us. But the Rose tool is really, really wonderful. It has so many different ways to help us that I'm only going to give us probably 3 today because I'm looking at the time. So the number one that I use every single day, these are the 3 that I use every single day. Um, It can protect and keep your frequency, your energy in integrity to you. So, what you want to do, this is what I do in my retreats. It's really fun. You want to imagine holding a rose about arm's length in front of you. And you don't need to do this. You can just imagine it hovering right there, or hoovering, as they say in New Zealand. I still don't have the accent. Um, Directly in front of you, about an arm's width distance. That's about your energy field, is about your arm's length. And you want to just command the rose to travel 360 degrees all the way around you. So take a moment now, and I want you to really use your imagination to see a long stemmed red rose, or any color you want, hovering right in front of you, eye level, about an arm's length in front of you. And then just see it traveling over to your right, and then going to your back, and then coming around to your left, and then now coming in front of you. And then you want to just command that anything on my side of the rose will stay in integrity to my energy. It will be protected and stay in integrity to my energy. And anything on the other side of the rose is strictly for my entertainment. And I love that. That's Jim Self. Strictly like watching a Netflix. You do not let it trigger you. You do not engage with it if you don't want to. You can just observe it and say, wow, isn't that interesting? Now, when you're with some real potent, triggering people or circumstances, sometimes you can do a whole bunch of roses around you. I mean, seriously, I have fun with this. I let my inner child really play with this one, but actually you just need to see that rose penetrating your energy field, your aura, and keeping it in integrity to you. And just setting that intention. Everything on my side of the rose is staying in integrity to my energy, and everything on the other side of the rose is strictly for my entertainment. And there it is. I suggest you use that before you go into a meeting, before you go into any public place. And this is, homework that I give a lot of my students is play with this. Go into a Kmart without using the rose and kind of just take a cart and just kind of walk around and feel the energy of what's you're feeling in the store. And then come out and clear your energy. I'll show you how to do that next. Clear your energy with a rose. That'll be the next thing I teach you. And then set the rose tool and then do it again and see how differently you feel. It's fun to experiment, but practice when it doesn't count so that when it does count, you've got it set. That is key. So many people forget to use it when that triggering person walks into the room. Practice when it doesn't count. Have fun with this. Engage with it. It's a new muscle to build, like you said, Teresa, and it's potent and powerful. The rose tool. Now, another way to use this rose tool, which I absolutely love, is before I go to bed every night, or if you've forgotten to use the rose tool, um, you can ask the rose to come into your energy center and absorb any energy that is not in integrity to you, that may have leaked in or gotten in, and it absorbs it. It's like a sponge, it's a workhorse. And it absorbs that energy, and then you take it out of your energy field and explode it like a firework and send all that energy back to whomever it belongs to. And that will clean up your energy field. And I just doing that right there, I feel so much lighter because I haven't done that in a couple of days. That feels so much lighter. And if you feel like you had the energy sucked out of you, or you gave so much that you feel like you are lacking of your energy, you can do the opposite. You can send a rose out and collect all the energy that you left or was absorbed by others throughout your day and retrieve that energy that is yours, bring it back into your energy field and explode it and reabsorb the energy that is yours. Wow, that felt really good too, just teaching that. That is something I do every single night from the center of my head. Feeling grounded and setting my intention. I set my rose tool in the morning. You can set your rose tool again so that I don't know what happens in our etheric body. All I know is that I have a lot of fun and I do a lot of flying. But before I go to bed, I do gather the energy that I have maybe dispersed throughout my day and bring it back to me. And then I go and I take all the energy that is not an integrity to me and I send it back to other people. I do that before I go to bed, just so I can sleep in clean energy. There are a lot of things you can do with a rose tool. We've just gotten started. Um, that long stem is its grounding cord, and it can disperse energy in rooms. Um, I'm not going to take the time today because we only have 10 more minutes, but that's a fun tool. All right, moving on to my next one, gratitude. Oh, it's such an underutilized, powerful force, celebration, and gratitude. What you give attention to, you will create more of. Gratitude and celebration are what we call um, expansive emotions. They expand us. They feel light. They feel good. They open our heart. They create a higher frequency of joy, freedom, love, gratitude. It's potent. And so it's so simple to use gratitude as a way to expand our energy into a higher frequency, a higher consciousness, more joy, more love. What we're grateful for, we create more to be grateful for. What you give attention to, you create more of, you attract it, and you have a much more attractive energy field. So more people want to be with you. Gratitude it creates lightness. You become a beacon of light. And it's just a wonderful feeling. My husband and I have gotten into that habit now in our sacred space, in our spacious morning where we're connecting, of sharing 5 things that we're grateful for. And it could be of the day before, of anything. You could do that before you go to bed. You could do it at a meal. When I raised family, we did that around the table when we had dinner. And the key to using gratitude as a tool is it's not a checklist. You don't just label it off, you feel it. You go deep into the love that you have for the person and you feel that love. It's a feeling. Gratitude is a feeling. It's not a word, it's not a thing. So it only works as a tool if you actually connect to the feeling of gratitude. Allow the memory of whatever it is you're grateful for to ignite the feeling of gratitude within your body. That's how the tool works. And allow that feeling of gratitude to open your heart and expand you into more love. It's an underutilized tool that is so potent and free. And we always have something to be grateful for, right? Okay. So I'm going to read this. I just kind of wrote a few notes so I would stay on track. Thoughts, emotions, and beliefs create our stories. All of these are tools. I teach classes on this. I coach on this. I don't have time to go into that, but all of these thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and stories have been created. They create our vibrational frequency, which is creating our life. Okay. What we believe, we will create. We see it's a match. And most of this has been programmed within us since we were little, even in utero. And so, and usually from well intentioned people. It's been passed on for generations. Our parents have the same thoughts, beliefs, and stories, and their grandparents, their parents, and the parents before them, and they've been passed on. If we want a different life, if we want to cut the cord of all those generational traumas and stories that are not what we want to hold on to, it begins with us. And it starts with an intention, a desire. And that's the first potent thing is to recognize what you want to cut out of your life, what you want to change, what timeline do you want to carry on to? Your future timeline is up to you. We have all different timelines. We have a series of futures we can create. What's the future you want to create? What are some of the stories and the beliefs that you're tired of, that you don't need anymore? Your ego may think it's true, but it's not true. Only if you believe it. That's what creates the truth. And that's the inner child and inner adolescent work I do. Potent work to turning those around and recreating different stories, learning how to be there for yourself in all the ways we've wanted other people or things to make us feel better. We have the power to do that. And that's the inner child and inner adolescent work that I do with my clients. And that'll be for another time. If you guys want to know more about that, one of these free calls, I'm happy to share. But that's a whole nother tool that would be deep and take a whole hour. So 5 minutes left. If you have questions afterwards, we can open it for a little longer. But I want to kind of take you into a quick little meditation on how you can string these all together. But before I do that, before you get out of bed, I suggest you do the following. This is what I do every single morning before I get out of bed. Now, my husband leaves first and starts to put away the dishes and make the coffee. And I mean, he's just an absolute dream of a partner. And I stay in my bed and I set my tools. I come to the center of my head. First of all, I'm grateful for the sleep that I had. If I had a really good night, if I had some fun dreams, I'm feeling the funness of flying and being grateful for that. I take 3 diaphragmatic breaths to kind of just ground from the center of my head, come into my body, get ready to wake up. I notice if my grounding cord's set. If not, set your grounding cord before you get out of bed. I set my rose tool to protect my energy for my day. And I set my intention. I do that with the grounding cord and the rose tool as well, because that's intentionally set. And then I set my intention for the morning. How do I want my morning to feel? What is flowing, spacious, connected, sacred, loving, kind, whatever it is? Maybe it's productive for you, but done from a place of consciousness rather than busyness. Productive from a place of intention rather than just getting stuff done. How do you want to feel? And then you can get out of bed. There are many other tools you could do, but those center of my head, diaphragmatic breaths, grounding cord, rose tool, and intention are the 3 that I use before I get out of bed. And before I settle into sleep at night, diaphragmatic breaths, setting my intention, of course, to have a good night's sleep, feeling into what it's going to feel like in the morning when I wake up, refreshed and grateful. Sending my rose tool out to retrieve any energy that I've left throughout the day and bringing it back, cleaning up my energy from anything I might have absorbed and sending it out, and feeling 3 things I feel grateful for from my day. What do I feel grateful for from my day? And really feeling into the feelings of gratitude for feeling healthy, strong, happy, grateful for the food I had on the table, for the opportunities I had, anything that you're grateful for, and try to keep them fresh so that they're just not rote. They're fresh and alive within you. So before I finish, and I know I only have 1 minute, and I hope that I have permission to just go, I'll do a quick, you can make this as long or as slow as you want, but let's just do a quick couple-minute meditation to just kind of string these tools together, a few of them, not all of them. So if you're ready, breathe your eyes, come to the center of your head as you breathe your eyes closed from the center of your head. And taking some nice, slower than usual diaphragmatic belly breaths, coming into this present moment from the center of your head. And if you have your feet on the ground, you can connect into the energy of Mother Earth and just imagine that the earth is able to get through you, through the floorboards or whatever it is in your house, and just open the little chakras at the base of your feet to really receive this grounding, healing energy from below. You might feel some tingling, you might not. Receiving Gaia's grounding energy now moving into your body. And just gently command and set the intention that it carries on throughout your meditation as it slowly goes into your body and spending time wherever it needs more grounding and healing into nerves, muscles, joints, tendons, any cells, and just allowing that to happen on its own. Taking a nice big breath. And now envisioning your grounding cord leaving the base of your spine and traveling down into the center of the earth. And then grounding itself with more tentacles of groundedness so it securely attaches itself into the center of the earth, commanding it to turn on its electromagnetic properties, and then commanding any thought or emotion that is not serving me for my highest or best good is now being siphoned out of my body and down my grounding cord. You don't need to know what they are. And taking another big breath, allowing that to happen. Again, from the center of your head, envision and see a beautiful pillar of golden white light coming down from above. And as it does, it touches the crown of your head and infuses every cell in your body with this divine, coherent white light from above. You might feel some tingling. You might not. Quite fast energy, that one is. And it commingles with this beautiful healing grounding energy that is slowly moving through your body and making the perfect elixir for you just for today. Taking another big breath, knowing that is happening. Now, setting your rose tool, seeing your rose circling your body as many times as you'd like, and setting the intention and commanding to the rose to keep all energy on my side of the rose in integrity to me and my highest and best self. And anything on the other side of the rose is strictly for my entertainment. Taking another big breath, allowing that to happen. And finally, setting my hands onto the center of my chest and breathing into my sacred heart, the portal to our soul. And expanding with each breath the light and the love that we have within us. Seeing the light within our sacred heart, igniting high up into our pineal gland and igniting our pineal gland and connecting our pineal gland with our head and our heart, connecting for the highest and best for us today as we navigate throughout our day, our meeting, our conversation, whatever it is that you're setting intention for. Taking another nice big breath and setting our intention for the next segment, how we are going to feel as we go throughout our day moving forward. Feeling into that energy. If you need some help finding that feeling, remember a time when you felt it and allow that memory to ignite the feeling within you. Confident, capable, happy, connected, whatever it is for you. Feeling into the energy. This or something better with harm to none. And so it is. And when you're ready, you can breathe your eyes open and come back to our call. That's stringing them together. At least a few of them. Oh, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as me. Teresa, do you have any questions or any feedback for me?
I am just so thankful for this invitation and this offering that you are um, gifting to the world. And the joy that you bring is it's almost like it's well, it is. It's not almost. It is in every cell of my body right now. And yeah, I'm just so incredibly grateful. Many of those tools I know, but bringing them all together has just amplified their their potency. So thank you.
I received that so beautifully, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this work. This is my soul's work. And
Hmm.
I just get so much joy from sharing it. So thank you for receiving it. I just really appreciate that because I couldn't give it if people didn't receive it. So thank you.
And also, it just what I feel is your presence shows what it can feel like to be with your soul purpose, and you're living it, and that's inspirational.
Oh,
I'm not quite sure what.
oops. Oh, darn. Well, I imagine I'm frozen. If I'm not, I'm going to have to say goodbye. I'm sorry that Teresa got cut off, but I have a feeling that's me that's frozen. There you are. You're back. I hope
I'm back.
I hope
Mm.
that that didn't happen a lot while I was teaching. Did that happen a
Uh,
lot?
yeah, it happened about 3 times, 3 or 4 times.
Mm. So I probably should have given the disclaimer that I'm in another location and I wasn't sure about the reception.
Uh,
Well,
yes,
hope.
perhaps. I think it was, I don't think in anywhere it really, I think just when you were explaining the rose, that was sort of, well, for me, I would have liked to have heard a little bit more about that. But I mean, it all connected anyway. So I think it was all, it's all meant to be. And even if we're talking frequency, those glitches are all part of it, aren't they? So
We have to have fun with it and just let it be.
Well, I love that you just have fun. There's just fun in your voice. And
Yeah, and I
yeah,
think that's such a big part of life. I mean, so many people have forgotten to have fun, and it just
yeah,
lightens us up and it makes everything less serious.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to
Absolutely.
thank you so much for being here. And all
Thank
those that I got so many people that sent me emails today and yesterday and the day before saying you couldn't come. I hope that you've enjoyed this too. And anybody that's watching this now as a recording, it's just as potent in the recording as it
It
was
is.
live. So enjoy it and listen to that meditation as many times as you'd like. All right, thanks again, Lisa, Teresa, for showing up. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Well.